I always have an inquisitive mind as to the accomplishments of our people.
Yeah.
And I am going to tell you a little bit about a phenomenal woman.
All right.
That I learned about, believe it, this year. No, 2015, January 2015. President Barack Obama honored this lady with the 2015 Presidential Medal of Freedom. Her name is Katherine Coleman Goble Johnson.
All right.
Anybody heard of her?
Amen.
Has anybody seen the movie Hidden Figures? It's a must-see to understand the history of our people. Okay, this Katherine Johnson was born August 26, 1918. She is still living, a beautiful lady, and this year she will be 100 years old.
My God, praise
Yes,
the Lord.
she is a beautiful lady. She was born in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia. Okay, she also worked for NACA and NASA. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about her as I read on about her. This is just a general overview of her, and it's so interesting, so I don't want you to miss anything, but I know I can't tell it all. She's an African-American mathematician who made contributions to the United States aeronautics and space programs with early application of digital electronic computers at NASA. She was known for her accuracy in computerized celestial navigation. She conducted technical work at NASA and its predecessor, the NACA, spanning 35 years. During this time, she calculated trajectories, launch windows, and emergency backup return paths for many flights from Project Mercury, including the early NASA missions of Alan Shepard and John Glenn, and the 1969 flight to the moon. In 2015, she was awarded that Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Obama. She was born in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia. She was the daughter of Joshua and Jolette Coleman. She was the youngest of 4 children. Her father was a lumberman, farmer, and a handyman, and worked at the Greenbrier Hotel. Her mother was a teacher. She showed a talent for math at a very early age. And because the county they lived in didn't they didn't offer public schooling for African American students past the 8th grade. So the Colemans arranged for their children to attend high school at Institute, West Virginia. This school was on the campus of West Virginia State College. It's now called West Virginia State University.
All right.
She was admitted when she was only 10 years old. The family spent their time between the institute during the school years and in their hometown in the summer. Okay, Miss Johnson, this little Johnson girl, graduated from high school at 14 years old and entered West Virginia State, a historically black college. As a student, she took every math course offered by the college. Multiple professors mentored her, and she also received a many of them mentored her. Okay, these were people that had PhDs and all that, but they saw how smart she was. Okay, they even added new math courses just for her. She was just that intelligent. She graduated summa cum laude in 1937 with degrees in math, French at the age of 18. She took on a teaching job at a public black school in Marion, Virginia. In 1939, she married her first husband, James Goble. So she was Katherine Coleman was her maiden name. Then she married Mr. James Goble. Okay, she enrolled in a graduate program. She quit after 1 year because she started raising her family. Okay, so then she became one of the 3 African American students selected to integrate the graduate school after the United States Supreme Court ruling in 1938. They ruled that the state that provided public higher education to white students also had to provide it to black students to be satisfied either by establishing black colleges and universities or by admitting black students to the previously white only. So you had to do one or the other. You had to let them in your school, you had to build a school for them. Okay, she decided on a career in mathematics. And it was a difficult field for African American women to enter. Okay, the first job was in teaching. And then in 1952, somebody mentioned to her about the NASA program. So she decided to further her educational studies. She was offered a job in 1953 at NASA. She accepted it and became part of the NASA team.
All right.
Okay, then she worked in a pool of women that performed math calculations. And it's going to show you all of this in the movie. It is so interesting. You cannot leave the room. And you have to watch it over and over. Okay, she referred to the women that worked in that pool with her as computers who wore skirts. Okay, their main job was to read the data from the black boxes of the airplanes and carry out the precise mathematical tasks. Then one day, Katherine was temporarily assigned to help the all-male flight research team, all-white male research team. Her knowledge of analytic geometry helped make quick allies of male bosses and colleagues to the extent that they forgot to return her to the pool. She was just that good, they forgot to send her back where she came from. But in that pool, where she was working, there was you couldn't wear any jewelry, no jewelry, only simple pearls, which she did not have. You had to wear your skirts below your knee, you couldn't ask any questions to the supervisors. I mean, it was really, really strict. The racial and gender barriers were always there. She said she ignored them. She was assertive, asking to be included in editorial meetings where the women had never gone before. She simply told people she had done the work and that she belonged there. She was very aggressive with them. So she worked as a computer analyst, and then finally she went on to help launch John Glenn into outer space. And when I tell y'all the mathematical skills this lady had was beyond measure. She could, and look, she didn't have any notes, any papers, any books, anything. She would just get on the board and just write all the formulas out of her God-given ability. It was amazing. You will have to see it. And when John Glenn got ready to go into outer space, they had finished up all the protocols, everything to get ready to ship them off. That day of the launch, John Glenn said, y'all got to go get, what's her name? Katherine. Y'all got to go get that smart lady. So I can get in outer space and get back in here safely. They went and got Katherine. Katherine did the formula, the trajectory for them to go into space. John Glenn applauded her. I mean, you couldn't help but applaud her because she provided all of the math, and it's amazing. You would never believe the stuff that she could actually do without any paperwork, anything in front of her. She'd just get on the board and just write all the formulas. And I'm talking about long formulas. It was amazing. So I just want to say that through her humbleness, God was working on her behalf. She stayed there, and some of the trying times that she had to go through, she would have access to secretive information, but they would not give her clearance. Isn't that something? Would not give her clearance to sit in the room with all the white men. They really didn't even want her to drink out the same coffee pot they had, just humiliating. So anyway, she would have to run with her papers, her secretive papers in her arm that she was working on, because you can't let anybody have access to them. She would have to run a mile to go to the bathroom twice a day. Run coming back. It was just that critical for her, but God.
But God.
Yes. So I just want to say that she suffered a lot of persecution on that job, but guess what? She made it. She made history for us. And guess what? She can't be touched. You can't even touch that. So I just want to say that hats off to Katherine Goble. I have just a few copies here. Pat, I made you a copy. And there's some pictures of her on your pastor. I have a copy for you. And,
Amen. Thank you, Sister Rilla.
And then I made a copy for 2 other people. You can share one, and then the Sunday school teacher. Yeah, and y'all can make copies and share with everybody else. But it's so interesting. It has all of her accolades on the back page, and some pictures of her. Oh, such a beautiful lady. And some of the awards that she received, which are numerous, a whole page of awards. So you all, the movie that she was in that was launched January 2017 last year, It's called Hidden Figures. Taraji P. Henson portrayed Katherine Johnson, Janelle Monáe portrayed Mary Jackson, and Octavia Spencer. And when I tell you these ladies were intellectual, I mean, this Dorothy Vaughan was the lady who had, she was an IBM expert by brain. Y'all hear me? And she brought her whole school, all black people, over to the NASA Center to do the IBM computerized data they needed to get to space. The whole class of black women. So I'm telling you, it's amazing. So I'm not going to take up any more time, but we could just talk and talk and talk. But I want to say this. Always remember, there is absolutely nothing that two can't do when one is God and the other is you. Praise God.